Hey everyone, TimaeuSS here, and welcome to another Nikke video. And yes, I actually do read your comments, and some of you guys were still asking about Crown, and especially in the last video where they've released a patch note for Crown's upgrade. So you know what? It's alright, I'm here, okay? I will make this almost as beginner friendly as possible and go over Crown builds, team compositions, etc. And going over our JP Bros team composition suggestions, CM Bros, and Global Bros. All the variety is going to be here in this video, and let's start things off with the patch note, because a new update has just dropped, about 100 something megabytes I believe, and the key thing here is that the Naga skill 2 has now been fixed, and we'll showcase that in this and show you guys what it means for the best campaign team composition in the game right now. So for those of you that are starting out, welcome, and here is skill 2 and why we were saying that you know what, this is such a game changer. The Royal Attire, the second part of the skill, activates when Crown is healed. Okay, it affects all allies and offers a massive attack damage boost of 21% for 7 seconds. Now, attack damage as part of the damage formula is pretty much near the end of the calculation, which means that the attack damage buff of 21% is much bigger than attack percentage buff. Okay, that's why in my previous video I've said, you know, if you go Max Limit Break Your Crown as Mine's Core 5, it's definitely a good choice. But for the free players that I've pulled on my stream, sometimes we just stop at one copy, because as a defender type, the attack is very nice, but of course the bulk of the skill kit bonus is going to be coming out from the attack damage. And she used to not have 100% uptime even when paired up with units like Naga, because it was bugged, but now post fix, even with Naga it is 100% because of skill 2. Activates after 5 normal attacks and affects 2 allies with the lowest HP percentage, and gives them a heal that is equal to 8.25% of the caster, which is Naga's final max HP. Now, previously, it was not the allies with the lowest HP percentage, but rather allies with the lowest HP, absolute HP value. So as a defender type of Crown, you will not be able to really push her down to the lowest HP on the team unless you don't upgrade her gears or you don't pull for dupes, okay? However, since the bug has been fixed, and I'll showcase it here, you now get 100% uptime on Crown's damage buff based off of Naga skill. And you can see here, we'll switch to Crown, and you'll see the green numbers pop up, which is the healing numbers. And I'll just switch to Crown right here. I mean, look at that ass. First of all, there we go. 249,000, that's a heal. And here comes another one. And this heal will make sure that the Royal Attire, this 21% attack damage buff, is permanent. But that's right, she gets 100% uptime just because of this Naga fix. 100% uptime on this Royal Attire, and everyone on the team will get it as well. See here, Red, who is getting it, Naga is also getting it, and it is 100% uptime on the Royal Attire right here. So a huge fix, to be honest, because now this team composition is truly the best. Because if you take a look at some of the other copium teams that people have been running, so this is a CN1 for example, they have been running the Naga variation, and instead they use Rapunzel for more healing. Again, this team is still viable. You can run a healer like Pepper or whatnot, and to help with survivability. But since the fix, this comp is a lot more offensive, and a Naga giving that heal is going to be really big. Now, keynote to understand here, if you're new, especially if you're new, because you probably don't know about the positioning. For those units such as Naga, Pepper that heal based on the lowest HP percentage, if everyone is at max HP percentage, which is 100%, then it'll go from left to right. Which means that if everyone's max HP, it'll heal the 2 lowest, which is Crown here, and then Litter, okay? Unless someone was damaged, then of course the heal will go to the damaged person and then go from left to right again. But in most cases, if you're doing story, especially if Crown's going to give you a shield, it's going to go from left to right, which then again cements that the fact you are going to get 100% uptime on this team composition, which is now the Naga team composition. To put Litter here in position 1, that's okay, because it's still Crown being the second position, but ideally just get into the habit of moving Crown to position 1, okay? And you can see some of the other team compositions they've offered. The Rapunzel one we talked about, basically a lot more defensive, but Rapunzel can keep up the heal and make sure that you know, you are topped off going into the fights, and a revive, emergency revive as well. After we've done some testing, Rapunzel's attack, team composition, the damage coming out, we did it on stream, is still lower obviously than the Naga team composition, but it's still better than something like Bunnies, okay? So it's a really good composition if you don't have Naga. Now the other team composition is you can run Scarlet the Black along with the Red Hood and Modernia. Again, super offensive, and you don't get that 100% uptime on the attack damage. They've also suggested some other options where if you don't have the burst 1 of Litter, you can of course use a D waifu. Waifu D is available, and if you're completely free to play and don't have other choices, you can even use volume or N102, which again, if you look at the other team compositions available from the global side, you'll see that D is going to be a substitute for Litter if you don't have Litter, and the other downgrade is volume, but also for the burst flex, they've suggested Naga and Rapunzel as well. And in terms of burst 3s, you can use Alice to basically have zero reload, infinite reload Alice with Privity involved. And for the Japanese side, there is a lot of other team compositions that you can run. So looking at the burst ones, like I've said, Litter, D, volume, N102. Those are your burst ones. Looking at the burst 2s, and since this is a Crown video, of course you have to run Crown, and if you do pair it with Naga for this best team composition, you can do so as well. So burst 1s, burst 2s are pretty much set in stones. The burst 3s, you do have choices. You can either go Red Hood with Maxwell to boost Red Hood via Maxwell's charge kit, or Modernia, as we like to all use it for campaign because of the mob clearing potential, and Modernia plus Red Hood, it was the best one we talked about. You can also use Ludmilla or Alice plus Scarlet Black, or even Snow White plus Maxwell. So these are all viable compositions. Basically, what you need to understand is you're locked into your burst 1s with the side grades and the downgrades, and you're locked in burst 2s because it's Crown. And if you tag along with a flex spot, either Rapunzel or Naga, that's your choice, and then you're left with 2 burst 3s, which then you have a selection between the Pilgrims that are usually the best ones, or you go down the list with Alice, Ludmilla, Scarlet, Maxwell, or Snow White, depending on what you have. So all of these compositions are viable, okay? And I highly suggest you to go on Pride team because they have the new card comp. Basically just follow this, and then you do your flex, you do your burst 1, burst 2s, and you're filling whatever burst 3s you have. There's also a potential last bullet team composition where it's Dorothy, Crown, and you can do Alice, Scarlet Black, and Privity, but if you don't have these two, or if you want to split them and use them with either Bunnies or Schoolgirls because Naga is not here, you can still do the Privity composition and instead here use Summer Anise, okay, Summer Anise, or here you can use another unit like Scarlet for the last bullet. But even MG users such as Ludmilla would also work for a water elemental advantageous comp because Dorothy and Privity are both water. So lots of potentials and capabilities, and we see that in the CM Bros compositions that this is another potential composition. In terms of the burst 5 choices, even Amelia was added, but all in all, it's really good to see that the team compositions are similar, and they do have a slight variation of the map pushing team composition where they do forgo Litter and allow Red Hood to burst 2 times, because your Red Hood has a huge attack buff, okay? Red Hood's skill 1 attack burst 1 variation of the attack buff is massive, so you can run a Red Hood burst 2 times because she will reset her own cooldown, and usually map fights are determined very fast, so you burst with Red Hood 1, then go into Crown 2, and then Modernia for the first rotation, and then after that when you're fighting the boss, you go Red Hood 1, Crown 2, and Scarlet Black 3, and there's 2 rotations to pretty much clear the waves and the boss, otherwise you pretty much just lose. So those are all of the team compositions that we have seen, and you no longer need to put up cubes, HP cubes. Those are bigger cubes to manipulate the HP. After the Naga fix, you can just go all resilience. The entire crown team should be all resilience to take full advantage, even the machine gun users, because they don't have that wind up with crown's buff and resilience leveled up to 7 levels or plus. So everyone should be on resilience. And in terms of the crown overload gear, you want to go for 1 or 2 lines of max ammo, but don't worry about it if you don't get it, because you know what, she doesn't need max ammo because she doesn't have wind down for the reload. So it's a bonus because obviously you get your stacks better and also less downtime, which means that you know, you can have taunt and vulnerability. So max ammo 1 to 2 lines, and the rest attack and alley advantage for even more DPS. But I would even say overloading crown isn't even that important at this point because of how much she brings to the kit and the amount of buffs. Her damage output coming from herself is going to be a bit more endgame. So I would say as a newer player, you don't even need to completely overload her. That's right. That's how good she is. And in terms of Q, I've said resilience and the skill upgrades, at least 7, 7, 7, if not 10, 10, 10, because she is absolutely deserving of it. So yes, these are the team compositions and the breakdown of crowns post-fix, especially the Royal Naga. The Royal Naga comp is just so damn strong. So let me know your thoughts, and hopefully you now understand the team building for crown and what Naga's fix means. Put crown in position 1, that's the most important thing, and make sure that you have Naga, of course, in your team. So anyhow, it's TimaeuSS here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye now.